Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Roscoe too, and today I'm going to show you a video that has absolutely nothing to do with metal detecting. So this video actually is about my 2014 Chevy Sonic. Now just skipping to the point, as many people will realize when over time with the Chevy Sonic, especially the earlier models before 2015 or 2016, every so often you might have a little check engine light come on, and the code is, I believe, P0711 or P0171, something like that. But anyway, basically when you plug it in to the AutoZone computer or whatever, it's going to tell you that your air intake is not, it's the pressure is wrong. And the reason that is because this pipe, and this is the new one that I'm installing right now, has a crack in it. And let me show you the old one where it actually cracks. Right there. And it also cracked down here. Now this cracks because of the inferior material that Chevy used to make it to begin with. So if you have like a 2012, 2013, 2014, maybe even a 2015, the material they used to make the original part is crap. So as you can see here, I actually ripped it apart at one point. I'll explain that in a minute. But anyway, they redesigned the part, and of course they said it's not a recall, and or anything like that. So they make you go out and buy it. Now where I live, the part is $115 just for this little cheap part. $115 is how much the dealership wants. And that's all the dealerships in my area. It's all the same price. There's other parts of the country where, maybe I've heard that it's actually cheaper. Like, oh, you can get it for like 60, 65. You can also get the actual part that you need from Amazon.com or eBay. On Amazon, these come in at about $36.99, much cheaper than 115. Also on Amazon, definitely read the reviews. There's actually different manufacturers of these. Read the reviews and make sure the one that you're getting or the one that you're buying from the company isn't made of inferior quality. The one that I got, the reviews were updated by most of the sellers, and they were saying months later that nothing was wrong. It seemed fine. So that told me that this should work out pretty good. Now, if something does happen, of course, I'm going to be pissed off. But anyway, so getting this off, let's just go over what you have to do. First thing you have to do is take off the air filter housing, which is held in by two screws, one there, there, and there. That's a simple two-second job. Then what you end up having to do, because it's signed like this, in order to get more space, this is the computer that actually tells your engine when there's an issue. It goes right in there. There's two screws that hold this in. Easy two-second job to pull that out. That allows you to completely get this out of the way and you have space. Now, there's a certain way that this actual part fits. As you can see right about, let me see, here it is right here. Right there, as in right there where my finger is, there's a groove that allows it to fit where that wire is way down there. See, that's how you line it up and know you've got it in the right area. Taking off this clamp up here is easy. It comes off pretty easily when you're taking off the original part. But the clamp down there, way down there, is a pain in the butt, let me tell you. Because you don't have much space. You can see there's a piece of metal wire right here in the back of the engine, so in order to move that you have to use a very small tool, a flathead screwdriver such as this, and you'll be able to do it. You're definitely going to be rubbing your hand against the actual wiring though. Anyway, so it was like this when I was pulling it out, and it was all connected, blah blah blah, and eventually I realized that if I pulled the top out, because it was already broken, I'd have more space, so I just yanked it and ripped it out. Then I eventually loosened the little metal clasp down here as much as I could. But the problem was, it was snug. Even once I got the clasp off, it was snug to the engine block. Now, I thought of a few ways of how to fix that. As you can see, you know how I got it off. But anyway, I decided that, I thought about maybe sticking a screwdriver in between this and the piece of metal that holds it in place that's connected to the engine. Then thought against that, because if you damage that, it's going to make an annoying fix, a very expensive fix. So definitely don't put, a screwdriver in there and try and wedge it out. The last thing you want to do is start bending that metal. Then I started thinking, well, if I put on like grip gloves, I might be able to get a better grip and pull it out. That didn't really help. And then I started thinking that if I were to, wait for the sun to warm up the vehicle, because it's, pretty cold right now, it would expand and I'd be able to get it out. But I didn't want to wait for that because I've got other things to do today. So then finally I said, screw this. I've already ripped it. I bet a pocket knife with a serrated edge can cut through it. As you can see, that's what I did. Started at the top right here once I'd already ripped off the top half and just sawed my way down. Right about here, though, was the difficult part because the wire is right here when it's in place. So I had to turn the knife sideways and make sure I wasn't going to cut into that wire. And so I eventually got it off. Once you cut clean through it, it's like ripping off, you know, any other cheap piece of plastic or rubber. Comes right off. That's the easiest way for me to get it off. Like I said, if it's already broken, don't be worried about damaging it. Getting this on is actually a lot easier than taking it off, believe it or not. But you do want to, before you put it in, the bottom gasket with a little screw, this is the top one, I mean the bottom clamp with a little screw, this is the top one. You want to make sure that you test it. You get these things lined up before you put it in. You know, they start off right here, make sure you get them lined up and then tighten it the way you want, and it'll slide right in. You don't want to be doing that when you've got it in there. It's going to waste a lot of time and it's not going to be a fun job. And then finally, once you get the bottom in, you just, you know, go in there with a little screwdriver and you screw it in and you're good on the bottom. The top part, I imagine, is going to be like a 2-second job. I'll show you the finished product once I finish in a few minutes. Well, everyone, it's Roscoe 2 again. Like I said, I'd do a, you know, final discussion on the part that I replaced. Now, it's much later in the day today. I've actually driven my car about 10 miles today. You see the part doesn't seem like there's anything melting. That's good. You see it's pretty flexible. I'm not sure if that's just because it's new or if, you know, it's always going to be flexible like that. The original one was not very flexible. Then again, that might just be because it's old. But anyway, back to what I had to do. Like I said before in the previous video, we installed this, put the 2 bolts back in. There's a little clips on this side you have to push it in. That was pretty simple. Getting this back on is a 2-second job. The computer sensor was also a 2-second job. The check engine light isn't on anymore. Now with that, I might actually have to reset the engine light. I gotta figure out how to do that. But as of right now, I'm not seeing anything bad. Nothing's melting. It looks like the clip is holding in there pretty decently. I think I mentioned in the previous part of the video that this is the 1.8 liter engine. The 1.4 liter engine doesn't seem to have this problem, although if you do look that engine up, you'll see it has its own issues to deal with. But like I said, it's a pretty easy fix, except for when you have to pull out the bottom and get the actual old part off. But with that, you know, you just have to get mean with it, maybe pull out a knife and cut it open. Also, while I'm at it, I'm probably going to end up replacing the air filter in there next time I stop by a Napa or an AutoZone. But that's really one of the biggest issues I found with the 1.8 liter engine is the air intake pipe goes bad. The other issue I found has to do with the cooling system, which is right here. The little thermometer for the engine, or the thermostat, is right about here. It's connected to a computer. I do hear that in many of these vehicles it is common for the thermostat to become a leaking point for the engine coolant. So you want to keep an eye on that. You want to check your reservoir if you have a Chevy Sonic, one of the first generation ones at least, and make sure that it's not leaking, because if you want to add a coolant and you don't realize it and your engine overheats and it starts warping the heads or whatever, then you're in trouble, because then you're going to need a new engine. So it's always best practice, check your antifreeze as often as you like. Also check your oil, obviously. But so far, those are the 2 main issues I found with the engine. There's only one other issue I've discovered, but that has to do with the actual shifter stick in the actual car. Anyway, just thought this video would be helpful to people, again, to understand how easy of a job this is, and that you should never pay the car dealer the outrageous labor fees that they want if all you have to do is do this job on the Chevy Sonic. Anyway, I hope you all had a good day, and I hope you all enjoyed this video as well.